Okay. Greetings and welcome to another semester at University of the Cumberlands. I say another semester. Um, could be your first semester. I'm Dr. Walker, and I'll be your professor for this course. As I record this, it's early Saturday morning, May 1st, 2021. Um, but this lecture will be posted May 3rd. Hopefully, everyone will watch it right away and get to work. So this is our course overview, our first lecture. We won't get deep into any content, but we'll lay out the next 16 weeks here. I'll give you a little bit about my background so you know who you're dealing with. Always helps to know who the person behind the voice is. We'll talk about the course objectives, uh, textbooks, the fact that there really aren't any textbooks, it's articles and other resources and whatnot. But I've got some stuff on the shelf I can share with you in PDF format that might help here and there. Um, I'll go over the various assignments that will make up your grade. I will focus on the biggest challenge that we see here at University of Cumberland's, which is problems with academic honesty. I'll discuss my expectations, and we'll conclude. So, a little bit about me. I started out as an electronics technician in my adult life, and this is my first 30 years of my working career were all in the United States Air Force. So I am a retired military guy, which if you've never been around a United States military person, I will admit we are a different culture. I think we're maybe a little more precise and a little more worried about things like honor and duty and responsibility and things like that than other people are. So uh, you need to understand that about me. But anyway, I I was an electronics technician working on aircraft and working on the electronics um, components, mostly navigation and other radio systems. Uh, Prior to this is before GPS back in the 80s, and I met someone who had been approved to change their career field within the military to computer programmer. And you need to understand, back in the 80s, there weren't a whole lot of personal computers yet. And you saw them on television and in the movies, but the idea of being a computer programmer sounded very intriguing. It sounded like a high tech um, wave of the future sort of job. And as an aircraft mechanic, I was working outside. You know, these are large aircraft. They don't necessarily have a hangar to park in when you're working on them. So, you know, I was getting tired of working outside in the cold and the wet, you know, and the heat. So, um, cross training into software development sounded very intriguing. So I did. After 6 years, I applied and was accepted to retrain. And at that point, they were still teaching older third generation languages like COBOL and Fortran. I even learned a little bit of assembler. My first real development job was on a multi-user computer called a VAX by Digital Equipment Corporation, and we used Pascal for utility programming. But then I also got into Oracle development, and I've been in and out of database related positions several times in my career. So that's kind of where I started. It was as an Oracle guy. The Pascal programming was interesting, but most of what we actually produced for users was Oracle. And then I was fortunate enough to be on a team that fielded an Oracle based database application for military recruiters. They'd have to fill out a lot of forms to get someone checked out and entered into the military. And I designed, and a few of us coded up a database application that that let the recruiter type in the information one time in data entry screens, and then we actually wrote C code to print out the forms. It was before fillable PDFs and all of that, so everything had to be custom coded, and that was great. And then I was selected for and went through officer training school um, in 1994, and did a few more software engineering, major systems testing sort of assignments. And then the internet happened, and the military decided they needed people that could um, do network services, network provisioning, and um, and software development was outsourced to contractors, and you started seeing a lot of commercial off the shelf or COTS software solutions. So we needed less and less people in uniform writing software, and more of us able to, go around the world and set up satellite dishes and tactical microwave links, and string Cat5 cable out to different tents where we could work. Um, so that's what I did. I got a master's degree in telecommunications, which is very interesting. Um, Moving on from that, I ran a testing laboratory, another web shop. Um, did my last uh, work in enterprise information systems. That's what my doctorate is in, concentrations in enterprise information systems. Um, for a couple of years, I was the director at the Arkansas Coding Academy in Central Arkansas at the University of Central Arkansas. We always seem to have some students in this doctoral program. They got their master's degree from Arkansas. A lot of Arkansas, uh, Southern Arkansas University. We'll see this time in your introductions. Um, so yeah, education. I got a management information systems undergraduate while I was a working programmer. Graduated there in '94. Um, that was, and immediately went to officer training school. Um, I got a master's degree from Southern Methodist University in Dallas. That was the master's in telecommunications. And then I decided to finish my doctorate, and I went with Colorado Technical University, CTU, 3-year program. Was very fortunate in choosing a research area and knocking out my dissertation um, without too much trouble as far as having to redevelop what I was doing. I just had to refine things. I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to research early on, so that helped me get through in the allotted 3 years. Some things about my character you should know. Um, I'm I'm very helpful. If if someone asks me for help, I normally go above and beyond the call to try and help. That's whether it's a student or a friend or a family member. I just want to something about me. I just need to contribute. I'm honest and trustworthy. I've been in a position of trust with a top secret security clearance more than half of my life, um, and I expect the same of other people around me. If I can't trust you, if you're not honest, we won't have anything to do with each other. I'm energetic and hardworking. I believe I'm intellectually precise as part of my background in both the military and in software development. Um, but that last bullet, I am not particularly understanding or sympathetic. Um, and you will see that if you get, if you don't do well on an assignment, or you don't turn it in on time, you'll find I don't accept late assignments. Everybody needs to keep up. So plan ahead, including, you know, getting sick. If you get on things early, you won't. If you don't wait till Sunday and then you don't feel good on Sunday, or something happens, um, then you won't have that last minute excuse. So you'll see that. I put the assignments out there. I'll help you with them. If you reach out to me, man, I'm there for you. But begging me for mercy because I catch you doing plagiarism, or for resubmitting something that just was not doctoral level writing. I don't do redos. I'm not sympathetic. If you're in a doctoral program, you're expected. You knew you were supposed to be at a certain level with a master's degree. If you're not, fine. Just don't ask me um, to compensate for anything like that. So yeah, there you go. So the course objectives. Now you would think by the name of the course that it would be dedicated to data science and big data analytics, and you would be wrong. Half the course is blockchain, and I'm not allowed to change a thing about it. So we will cover data science cycle and tools and people. We'll talk a little bit about big data concepts and frameworks like Hadoop and Spark, um, and uh, and R and Python, and data visualization like Tableau and uh, um, um, Power BI and other visualization techniques and pioneers of visualization. But then we get into blockchain, and I'm not a blockchain believer or user or anything like that. So we'll cover the material and let you guys have at it. Some of you have a concentration in blockchain, and we don't really have a course dedicated to it, so we cover it in this one. And along the way, we'll talk a lot about scholarly writing and academic literature, and helping you choose a research topic. Um, the sooner you get going thinking about your dissertation and research project, the better off you'll be. I have found um, no one, and I've been teaching this course or courses for Cumberland's now for this is starting my third year. So in 2 years, every semester, having students, no one is on their way on their dissertation. So I have found that it's really good to get this stuff out there in front of you, so you start thinking about what you're going to do for your dissertation, so that when you get there, it's not nearly such a shock. Okay, that's what we'll be doing. The assignments that will consist of your grade, I'm sure you would love to have some hands-on, R programming, or um, other laboratories, or maybe learn how to do machine learning in Python, or setting up a Hadoop cluster and pulling in, every tweet and Facebook post for the last 5 years and combing through that. And we won't be doing any of that. We'll be doing discussion questions and APA papers. And for your residency, I I have not decided. I change it a little bit. I do get to choose the residency assignment. You'll break into teams, um, and I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to assign to the teams yet. So some sort of data science project might be fun, don't you think? Email me with your opinion. What we should do for our residency assignment, what we should do or what we should not do. So I'm curious. I've just asked all of you in two different sections to email me with suggestions for what will affect your education and your life. And I'm curious if I will get even one email. I'm curious. Normally, there are some students that stand out from the rest because they are engaged with their education, and then others are not, and we'll see. I'm hopeful. So our residency will be Friday, June 11th through Sunday afternoon, June 13th. And that's like 5 hours on Friday night. And I'll go into this as we approach it. Got another month to 5 weeks. Um, you'll be absolutely ready. So yeah, it's like 5 hours on Friday night. So be ready as soon as you get home from work Friday night. Um, to be devoted all weekend. So it's 5 hours Friday night, about 10 hours on Saturday with just a lunch break, and then we do another 5 hours on Sunday. So it is 60% of your course grade. I want to say it's in the syllabus. They changed it this semester. About half of your grade is the paper, the research paper. It will be a group paper. Um, I'm still deciding. Like I said, I'm still deciding exactly how I want to go about doing that. Um, and the presentation is like 100 points. Uh, the practical connection assignment is something you do every semester at University of Cumberland's, and I don't think I've ever had a residency where someone did not turn in something like their resume, which will go over the requirements for the practical connection assignment. That's where you talk about the course content and what it means to you um, as uh, an aspiring researcher um, getting your PhD and what this course means. So you have to tie the course content to your current professional world. And I've seen people turn in things that were just obviously false, that just were not true. I've seen people turn in practical connection assignments from previous classes, which check the syllabus on using material from previous classes and my policy on that. And I've seen people turn in practical connection assignments that made absolutely no sense whatsoever. So yeah, that's 10% of your grade, and it's an easy 100. It's an easy A. It's an easy F, and normally there's nothing. Not there's very little in between. You either do it or you fake it, and F stands for fake. Fake starts with an F. So anyway, that's your residency um, papers. But I will make sure that you are very well prepared for the residency session, regardless of what direction I plan on going with it. the the default activity is to write sort of a literature review of an academic paper about a data science topic. But I kind of want to do something else this time, or at least not just do a literature review, but actually write an academic paper. Maybe that's no kidding the results of a mock research project. Like I would give you a problem area and some data, and you would come up with hypotheses, and you would run the numbers on the data. Um, I don't know. We'll see what I can come up with. We will very likely just write a paper, but email me. See what you think. Okay, I do have to say a word about plagiarism versus rewording. So there's a difference between paraphrasing and just rewording or spinning someone else's work. Um, I think it's obvious. I think all of the students that are in this program know it's obvious, but it's an easy shortcut. I think that's the problem, is a lack of confidence and a lack of dedication to the program is why we run into problems with academic dishonesty. So here's the thing. Um, Paraphrasing is not reword. You're not just changing a word here or there when you paraphrase. When you paraphrase, you are describing, you're encapsulating the bottom line findings or major point that another author has made. You are not taking what someone else has written on a blog or in an academic paper or in a textbook and changing a word here or there such that it fools Turnitin. Okay. Paraphrasing is taking something like, um, you know, well, actually, I do an article, I do a video on this, and it'll be posted this week. It's my word end note demo where I show you software that helps you manage references and how to properly paraphrase and cite a reference. Um, we don't just stick a citation into your text to make it look like an academic. That's the F in fake. Um, Whenever you cite a source, there should be some major point in that source, in that reference, that informs your thinking. So we'll see. Sometimes when I see um, random citations that I know you just stuck it in there, I'll email you and ask you how the reference you cited informed your thinking. And if I don't get an answer, I have no choice in what I have to do. It's a zero, right? I have no choice, right? So um, just understand. Uh, we all know what article spinners or paraphrasing websites are. I'll go over an example here. Um, just just don't. Just write your own papers. Um, I post two informative videos other than this course welcome this week to get you on the right foot. One is the Word EndNote demo. EndNote is the program, but it integrates with Word and makes academic writing much easier. Um, and the other one is academic writing for systems engineers, which is what you guys are. So I put the academic writing process into terms um, like the software development process, software engineering process, so that you understand where I'm coming from and what I'm expecting and how I write. Okay, so first offense, I have the latitude to fail you for that assignment. So if I see even a sentence that is obviously just ripped off, I have the permission to give a zero. The second time I see it within this course, I have permission to fail you for the course, and I report that to the university. And of course, students have the right um, to rebut that. But I mean, I don't ever turn anybody in that isn't dead to rights. It's just obvious. And the third offense, I'm being told, if we go through this and you fail a course, which I've done a few times, if you do it again, they say they're going to dismiss you. I don't know. I've never turned someone in that it wound up being their third offense. But the key to all that is to write originally. Write originally. Okay? And that means, come up with your own structure, come up with your own main points, your own headings, your own content. Write your own paper. And none of this will happen. Uh, I had someone turn in something to me one time that was completely plagiarized. And it was a draft. It was during one of the residencies. And she said, "Oh, I had pasted that into my paper and I was still working on it." So that's what I'm talking about. Don't cut and paste. Don't use someone else's words and then reword them. It will never say what you need to be saying in your paper. Every writing exercise is different. Um, so please don't do it. You know, don't paste something into your paper and then start changing words around because it'll goof it up. It'll be horrible. Don't do it. Okay, it's cheating. Um, so that's just it. Don't try and pass off something you found on the internet as your own. Easy, right? Come up with your own original thoughts and you will be fine. Learn enough about the topic that you can write about it. It takes work. I believe me, I know exactly where you're at and I know how much work it takes. I did the work. So uh, that's that. And I will not hesitate to report. Now I want to show you what jumps off the page to me as a voracious academic journal article reader and native English speaker. This is something I wrote up here in my doctoral program a few years ago. And I mean, I wrote it myself, my own thoughts, my own structure. Um, and I took this paragraph and I submitted it to paraphrasingtool.com, which is a cheat site. You need to understand this. Um, I those sites exist so that college students can cheat for no other reason. There is no other purpose for paraphrasing tool other than authors cheating. Sometimes it's for people writing content on like textbroker.com, but they're terrible. Okay, they are horrible, and I've never seen one that didn't just jump off the page at me. And if you use one, first of all, you're not learning anything, and you're a fraud. But more immediately, I'm going to see it, and I'm going to give you a zero, because paraphrasing websites say things like this. Okay, this is my writing. A specific type of user group. User group. We have user groups. That's a common industry term, right? Colloquial English expression. User groups. We have Microsoft user group. We got the C Sharp user group, the Python user group. Okay, so that is uh, a frequent colloquialism. So what the paraphrasing website changed that into a particular sort of client bunch. What's a client bunch? There's no such thing as a client bunch. So when I start seeing things like that, knowledge worker, that is a well-established term. It's all over the academic literature. Knowledge workers. They're people that they don't use a hammer. They're not digging ditches. They're not building things. They're not repairing things. They're working on a computer, and what they know is the process that they're involved in. A knowledge worker, because they know things and they know how to use computers to build on that knowledge and provide knowledge to other knowledge workers. And there you go. And paraphrasingtool.com turned knowledge worker into information laborer, which doesn't exist. There's no such thing as an information laborer. Okay. So, yeah. Uh, when I see paraphrased web or if I just see writing that's just doesn't use standard terminology, like I said, you guys are expected to be at the graduate level in English and writing at the postgraduate level in English. Um, so if you're not there, I'm sorry, but that's the expectation. It's in the syllabus. It's what I expect. So, yeah, most research includes client networks that are principally persevering. No, uh, it just jumps off the page at me. And this is not how anyone writes or speaks. So anyway, there you go. Don't use paraphrasing tools, and be careful of downloading stuff from like Course Hero and Study.com, because it might have been run through a spinner. So don't do it. Write your own stuff. It's easy. It's simple in principle. It takes a lot of work. Um, so on your discussion boards, please post your initial response by Thursday. Include a couple academic references, and then reply to two students by Saturday at midnight. I see a whole lot of Sunday night scholars come in at 10 p.m. Uh, procrastinated all week long and post stuff that's usually not very good. If you're waiting until Sunday night, it's because you didn't put the time into the class and now you're in a rush. Um, so yeah, initial response by Thursday night at midnight. Replies by Saturday night, please. And you don't need um, a separate reference page in your discussion, but put a centered header that says references, and cite your sources in APA format. So use professional but personable language. Okay. The academic paper you will want to write in academic tone, where you avoid personal pronouns like I and we and things like that. But please, in class discussion, use personal pronouns. Share your thoughts and opinions and work experience. Okay. If you post something in reply to another student that sounds detached from what they said, it's a zero. Okay. And you need to realize there's a post first feature. So you can't see everybody else's response, initial response, until you post your own, and then you'll see what they wrote. And that avoids people. I've seen people cutting and pasting each other's words in the discussion board. It's terrible, you guys. You need to realize that. If uh, there are other sections of this course, I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you. If what I'm telling you doesn't sound right. Um, so yeah, here's an example of an unacceptable response to a fellow student. And I see this a lot, and I fight it as much as I can. Greetings, colleague. Your post is full of wisdom, and you are obviously an expert. And then sometimes you see this in other words, but it's the same thing. It was well organized. It contained useful information, and I appreciate it. And blah. And then I want to add some points. Just want to add a few points. I want to piggyback on what you said. Blah 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 blah. And then you just post some garbage that you found on the internet that everybody knows because we were all studying the same thing. Uh, in class conversation, you need to share what you found in your reading or whatever. Um, but don't just lecture it. Don't just spit it out there. You need to say, you know, hey, Sadiq, this week you posted something really great, but it sounds like you might have not seen this article. It helped me understand more about the subject. I like the way the author did an experiment or the way they collected data or whatever, and then maybe post a link to that article. Okay, or great post. We're working on something just like that at work. I'm a Hadoop developer and we're running into performance issues, whatever. So make your replies to your fellow students focused on what they posted in their initial response. So your initial response will be somewhat academic. You will have to um, answer the discussion question requirements, answer the instructions, uh, ATQ, as I put it in my academic writing for systems engineers, answer the question. But uh, in the replies and talking to each other, it needs to be conversational. It needs to read like a conversation on social media, only using professional language and about a professional topic. Don't reply and just add a few points. Okay. And if somebody posts something that sounds in their initial response that sounds absolutely perfect, or it just doesn't sound like something a student would write because there's just something wrong with it, run it through Google. If you find the source of someone else's post, hold them accountable. The academic research community is a self policing profession. Okay. People challenge each other's research constantly in this world. And you may as well get used to it in class. Don't try and pass off something as your own work because you sure will get called on it once you start getting published and your dissertation is published. So, for the world to read. So, there you go. We use APA format. They just transferred to the seventh. I'm not a big stickler for APA format. Um, but like your paper should have a separate reference page. I got to the end of last semester, there were still people that didn't realize that you put a page break before your reference page. You know what I mean? Your references start on their own page. Still had people pasting just URLs in as references. That's high school level uh, nonsense. So yeah, uh, I post a couple of APA sample papers out there. Use them. Make your paper look like that paper. Just come up with your own, headings and whatnot. Um, yeah, it's pretty easy. Double space, APA section headings. Please do not include an abstract for anything, for any of the papers. I don't require an abstract for any papers in this course. All references have to be cited once, right, in order to be a reference. And all cited articles must appear in the reference list. So there's a cross correlation there. Um, I provide a lot of examples, templates, and references, supplemental materials, and whatnot that you're welcome to use. Um, yeah, like I said, no need for uh, official headings or separate title and reference page for sure. You don't need a title page in your discussion. Headings are okay. I mean, so that you can keep your writing organized. But watch my end note, my word end note demonstration video. It'll go into more of that. Um, move that up a little bit. Uh, this program should be taking you at least 12 to 15 hours a week. So when I see 15 minutes of work on a Sunday night when it's a discussion board, um, the zeros add up. I mean, the discussions in the weekly papers are only 40% of your grade, but if you blow that off, if you blow those off and don't do them and don't put the time in, 60, you can get an A in the residency and still fail the course. So make sure you're doing your weekly work. It's, uh, like I said, it's not a major part of your grade, but it will add up. Check your email every day, as do I, and answer my emails promptly. Um, and if I ask you a challenging question, like what was this reference refer? How did this inform your thinking? Or this looks plagiarized. This sounds like an article spinner. What were you? What is this? Uh, um, don't explain yourself. If I ask you a challenging question, explain yourself. Don't don't roll over and apologize and ask for, oh, I'm very sorry. It'll never happen again. Can I do over? Because the answer will be no. You should be able to defend your work. Um, I also expect you to ask questions. I mean, I don't get nearly enough questions from students when it comes to clarifying, you know, their approach to something, or clarifying something that I said in the lecture. I don't get nearly enough questions. So please email me with any questions, and I'll try and get back to you same day. Um, Monitor your feedback. Look at your grades. I've seen people come back 3, 4 weeks later and going, "Oh yeah, hey, that paper back there. Can I redo that?" Or maybe pointing out something I might have accidentally entered the score incorrectly, and weeks later they say something. I'm like, monitor your score, guys. Hey, check your grades every week. I'm pretty good at doing feedback pretty quickly. Um, so if you have trouble with something I said in your feedback, because I'm brutally honest, if I don't understand what you turned in, I will tell you that in your feedback. And if you want to ask clarification questions, if you want to go over it, ask, but ask immediately. As soon as I post the feedback, within a day or two, you should be coming back with questions. Please don't don't even go to the study sites. There's more ITS 836 garbage on Course Hero then I can count. And like I said, a lot of it's just reused. It's the third and fourth generation reused garbage. Anyway, yeah, study.com. I found some stuff on study.com. Find a lot of stuff on Course Hero. There are others out there. So just don't even, I never went to any of that nonsense when I was getting my doctorate. Good grief. Anyway, yeah, don't even go. Um, and please, if I ask you to explain yourself, it's it's to help you. I'm trying to help you take the program seriously, write accurately. Um, please don't don't make me feel like I'm your adversary. You know, uh, Meet me halfway, and let's work on this stuff together. I can help with anything, um, but you've got to um, you've got to come halfway to me when it comes to working on this stuff. So please don't make me feel like I'm your adversary. Okay, I have a LinkedIn connections, long-term working relations with prior Cumberland's students. And then there are others that make me feel like I don't know, like I'm your parent and I'm disciplining you. So please, uh, don't do that. Reach out to me, and I'll do everything I can to help you succeed in this course and in the entire program. So get started every week early. Get started early. I can see course activity, and successful students are on it early. Um, Students that struggle save everything for the weekend, and it just doesn't work. Okay. Now this first week, you've got um, several things to do. Okay, you've got a plagiarism pledge. This is coming from the university. It's not just me. Okay, the entire faculty is working on this issue because it's so troublesome. Submit your pledge, not the quiz. The pledge. Bold. Highlight. Don't submit your quiz. Submit the pledge, the signed pledge. Introduce yourselves in the week one folder and cover everything that it suggests and more. Um, some people pop in there and just say, "Hi, um, I'm an engineer and I live in Dallas," and that's it. Uh, so anyway, then we have an article to read and discuss that talks about the shortage of data science professionals throughout the world and using bibliometric analysis to determine the need and supply of data science folks around the world. Um, uh, Please don't think that this article is, the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's only been cited a few times in the academic literature, so read it objectively. And when you do the discussion board, be objective. And then, of course, we have the Start Here link um, that has all kinds of good resources for you. Okay. So, in conclusion, you can see my background in the My Instructor link. Everything is in the syllabus as far as policies and the points and the due dates for all assignments. Um, Say it again. Write your own stuff. Write your own thoughts originally, uniquely, from a clean slate, from a blank page, and you'll be fine. And I look forward to seeing some good discussion from your experience, um, not not just stale facts that you picked up during the week. And as always, questions or concerns, please email me, donald.walker@ucumberlands.edu. And we'll get into some data science and whatnot starting next week. Okay. Have a good week.